Hi everyone, today we're looking at the Justice card. This is going to be, I'm really going to try and be quicker than I was last time. There's not that many symbols, so it's actually quite easy to memorize this. It's probably going to be a 15-minute though, so if you're looking for something that's just 2 minutes, please go and find someone else who does the really short ones, and that's okay. But I'm one of the people that believe that if you look at all the symbols, they really tell a story, and once you have memorized what that story is, when you come to look at that particular card again, it's so much easier to remember it. We always remember something if it's put into a story. A lot of the symbols are also repeated throughout the deck, and so learning the whole of the tarot deck becomes suddenly very, very easy. I believe as well that with some of the more modern decks which don't have all of the symbols in, this particular deck actually pretty much does. It's kind of easier to learn from the Rider-Waite-Smith and then move on to the more the much sort of simpler and more modern decks. So before we get rid of this Justice, the only difference I can really see is that the God energy, the masculine energy of the joy of life, God, isn't present in this one. But apart from that, okay, I'll put that one aside for now. So we've got the Light Seers, the Witch's Tarot, and the Everyday Witch. Okay, so I've made my notes and I'm going to try and go really, really fast through them. So this is representing the air element. So it's definitely the Libra card. Its planet is also represented here with Venus. Okay, so this basically is the Great Mother. She is represented in, you've got the Earth Mother in the Empress card, but this is the Great Mother. So like any matriarchal family where you've got a very strong presence of a mother who can see all, and no one ever tends to get away with much because she tends to see everything. Nothing escapes her, which is why she hasn't got a blindfold on. So, you know, some of the more modern decks, they've kind of they put a blindfold over and show like she's peeking through. I don't even know why they even bother putting a blindfold in. I guess because they think it's like, I don't know, one of the American statues, but she's meant to be completely with her eyes wide open. She's the all-seeing eye, basically, into your heart. The Fool, each time we've done a card, we've gone through where the Fool is. Well, so the Fool is standing in the great courtroom, and this judge is not an impersonal person. This is really kind of the higher self looking back at you going, what have you done? What have you done? It's cause and effect. Again, it's very karmic. Because it's 11, that means it's represented by 1 and 2, which is basically the magician and the high priestess joined together again. So why do we have this mirroring cards 1 and 2? Well, she's got the same sort of posture, more so with this one really, of the magician, her arm up and the hand almost pointing downwards. It's barely holding on to that. It's almost like that is stuck to the pillar and she's just resting her hand down, from above so below. As in here, she's holding the double-edged sword. There are 2 different sorts of meanings to that. One is, you know, one side is desecration, the other is what's the word I'm looking for? Consecrate. So she can consecrate a situation, or she can desecrate a situation. I kind of view it as the sword is double-sided, signifying that you've always got a choice, you know, a choice of left or right, a choice of, like in the Chariot. So a choice how to feel, how to think, and how to behave. And what do I mean by that? How to feel, do you connect to or do you break away from your higher self or your creator God? How do you think? How do you act on what you feel? And then behave. How do you behave when faced with situations? Do you react a certain way? Is it compulsive and trigger? And what's going to happen? Because this card is about cause and effect. So with her posture, she's facing forward. She is not moving for anybody. And she's staring you straight in the face. She's got one foot out only, which very much mirrors the High Priestess. And she's showing that you are going to deliver the outcome of your actions. What you have caused, you will reap. And that's not, as I say, somebody on the outside saying this. This is your higher self saying, you're going, you know, because this is the laws of spiritual energy. You mirror what you put out. So if you're around people who on one side here are behaving in a certain way, and you're going, oh, I wish I was around nicer people. Are you mirroring? Because we attract people that we're like. I'm not talking about children. I'm not going to get into abuse and all of that. But there is a point where your life is manifesting where you are. If you have friends who have a very low frequency, how high can your frequency be yourself? You know, this judge is asking you that question. If you're attracting low-level energy people, then how low are you? Because if you were higher, you wouldn't be bothered with these people. You wouldn't be going near them. There could be some codependency there, and that's why you're lower. You may not act like them down here, but you're codependent, so you're still down here. So we spoke about this with my son the other day, really, not about tarot particularly, but we had this conversation about Tom Riddle. You've got Tom Riddle right down here on the lowest possible Voldemort, you know, Harry Potter, lowest possible frequency you could go. And then you've got Harry Potter, who's like up here. And it's like, how, when they both had a similar sort of background, how come one ended up here and one ended up down here? And that was because Harry has got, Harry had the gift really of internally having a gift, having a justice card within him. That's why. And that's because he had emotional intelligence and he was able to be circumspective. He was able to look at himself and say, how am I behaving in this? What am I doing to cause this situation? There was a lot of blame there as well. I'm not saying, you know, go into the depths of blame, but because he looked into himself and he judged himself, as Libras do, he was able to be set free from what he saw as his very underprivileged background, in the sense of, you know, orphaned and in a dreadful place with the Dursleys. At the opposite way, you know, you've got Voldemort. He was in an orphanage, but there were happy kids running around and he had carers who wanted to support him. But there was something inside of him where he didn't have the justice card within him, and so he was very low frequency. and didn't really love himself. Okay, so how you respond to life's challenges is what she's judging you on, because she wants you to realise that you only hurt yourself if you don't start judging what is your part to play in a situation. So understanding the cause that you set in motion will always return to you, in effect, always will. So we've got the purple veil here reminding us of the High Priestess card. The difference though, the High Priestess card veil, you can see through it. There's a gap between the stone pillar and the veil. So that sort of says, yeah, you can come through that veil and go into a higher place, spiritually speaking. This one doesn't. It's you cannot see what's behind, and that's because what's behind there is higher energy and the law of cause and effect. You're not going to know how your behaviour is going to bite you in the butt. You're not going to know. It's hidden from you. Excuse me. Just blow my nose. So, when you see this card upright, it's saying somebody's got your back. Yes, I mean, obviously, anything legal and it's upright and you're wanting a question to and it's upright, then obviously, yeah, it's going to be a good outcome. Be positive. The truth will out. But it's the need to see something as it really is without the rose-tinted glasses. Take a look at your situation. Take a look at your heart. Take a look at your actions and your beliefs without your own rose-tinted glasses concerning yourself. Did you really behave the right way? It's asking you to be honest about how we deal or feel about others. And yes, obviously, you know, it is about justice will avail, but it's about weighing both sides, seeking equality and fairness, being accountable and being honest. And if you are and have those attributes, you've got nothing to worry about. If you get this in reverse, then you are going to see dishonesty. Let's say it's yourself, or it's anybody else. Let's say it's for a lover. Let's say it's for a husband. Let's say it's for a son's behaviour. It's dishonesty with yourself or others, being in denial, not being prepared to delve deep into the inner work, unfair actions by others, or you are being unfair, being treated unfairly, shirking responsibility, sulky behaviour, self-piteous, not at all taking responsibility. So let's have a look at some of the others here. So we've got, I love the Light Seer's one. She's feeling serene. She's done nothing wrong she's not worried about the effects, because she's been doing everything that she can to be wise and do the right thing, being accountable, being honest, being truthful. She's a lovely soul who's of a high frequency. She's got nothing to worry about with the Justice card, because she is always resting in the Justice card. Her heart, like Harry Potter, is always resting in with the knowledge of her higher self, and so she's always wanting to hear and be instructed by her higher self to be the best that she possibly can be and act a bit like a grown-up. When it is reversed, this wonderful card, because yeah, I mean, if you look at this, she's got her eyes closed. She's always in a place of prayer, always in a place of gratitude and appreciation, and no matter what the consequences, she will do the right thing. So she's got peace and can sleep at night. The other way round, she has got her eyes open. She's not going to be sleeping very well. She doesn't particularly look very nice. And I kind of don't. I think you have to use intuition here. But when it's reversed, you can see. And let's reverse these. Because if you've looked at any of my others, you'll see what I do. Emotions. When you're emotionally led, so at the top here, we see emotions, we see passion and desires. But instead of it, this red, beautiful red dress being a passionate Libra man who has his feet planted on doing the right thing, because they are little Hermiones. Libras are little Hermiones. Instead, reversed, it's kind of led by their emotions. She's been led by her emotions. She's done what she wants. And I tell you what, justice sees everything. And the justice card will come up for that person, and they're in trouble, basically. And it's not by an outward force. It's not by God kind of going, I'm going to knock you down by a bolt of lightning. No, you are going to be instigating a bolt of lightning hitting you in your situation, because your higher self wants you desperately to grow up. Your higher self wants you to experience the positive things of life, and it's a way of teaching you a bit of a lesson, not because it wants to see you suffer, because because we discipline those we love, because we don't want them to do it again. So that is the spirit of the Justice card. The other side, flip side of it is, it's a cause and effect as well. Naturally, what you do will have an effect, and it will be of the same frequency as you dish out. If you're dishing out a lot of I'm going to do exactly what I want, then you're going to get back a justice card that is reversed, and you're going to suffer the consequences. That's why we have prisons basically, for people that aren't going, that rush into a situation and don't think, how should I react? Rather, they react emotionally by greed or by temper, and lots of other different reasons. And so because of that emotional drive, as we've seen with a lot of the other cards so far, we're told to control that emotive behavior. We're told to be control our minds and control our egos, and we're to do the right thing. Small-term gain, small-term pain, long-term gain. If you do what she does here, she always does the right thing, even if it hurts her in the beginning. She's not going to lie on her resume. She's not going to say she's done something when she hasn't, and because of that, it's not going to bite her in the butt. This card will say, reversed, I've got to bite you in the butt, because you've lied, you've got a low frequency, therefore you're going to get found out eventually, but you will get found out. Right, so hopefully that has helped you to understand. I think I've explained everything there. She's asking you to take accountability and be responsible. And she's asking you, what have you done with everything that she's given you already, in the information with the major arcana so far. Thank you very much, and I hope you enjoyed this. Thank you.